What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Millzy, back with Hometown Commander, and we are back for a video I haven't done in a very long time. But I wanted to update you guys as far as where I am with my staple binders. This is a concept that I introduced a while back. If you're interested in seeing my original staple binder video, I'm going to throw that down in the comments so you guys can, or down in the description so you guys can get the link to that. But to do a quick recap, Stable binder is a concept to help out if you want to build multiple decks but don't want to buy individual expensive staples for each of those decks, to make a binder with those cards in it, and then I proxy those cards in every one of the decks that I've built. It's helped me build a lot of main decks. I currently have 7, and in the next couple months I'm going to be adding 3 more that I finally finished testing, and I'm going to buy the rest of the cards for. My stable binder originally was just in this Midnight Hunt Celestis binder, but over the last couple of months, as I've been testing out more decks and acquiring more cards for the staple binder, I've actually had to put it into 2. The black binder is lands, and then the Celestis binder is all of the non-land cards. What I'm going to do in this video is just talk over what's currently in my staple binders, what I've added recently, try to point them out as we go, and then talk about what my plan is for the future. So for the lands at the moment, for all 10 colors, I currently have 9 of each of the full set of these 9 sets of lands in my staple binder: fetch land, shock land, check lands, the commander lands, the slow lands from Innistrad, filter lands, pathways, the pain lands, which we just all got reprinted in Dominaria United and the Brothers War, and then the 10 bounce lands that we got reprinted in Dome Masters 2022. So you'll see as we go through all 10 color pairs, we have all of them here. Now, I have been really considering, although I don't use all of them, for me this is half usability and half just having them. I think they're really fun to have all of them. Now, I'd really like to add the fast lands. It looks like we're going to get those reprinted in both Phyrexia and March of Machines. We're going to get a reprint of all 10 fast lands. That's had me thinking, what other dual lands should I add to my staple binder? I'm thinking about the tap duels from Dominaria United, the snow duels from Call Time. I've had a lot of thoughts as far as what lands I want to add. If you guys have any suggestions as far as 2-color land cycles you think I should add, go ahead and let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But now we get into the triumphs from Ikoria, Command Tower, Ancient Tomb, Mana Confluence, and City of Brass. The other 5 triumphs, of course, from Capenna, Urza's Saga, Field of the Dead, Nykthos, and Path of Ancestry. The 5 battle lands from Battle of Zendikar, a Horizon Canopy, because I do play a couple green-white decks: Forbidden Orchard, Cavern of Souls, Plaza of Heroes. The 5 Kamigawa lands, the World Tree, Cabal, and Urborg, and then a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. The 5 AFR lands with Evolving Wilds in the same right, the Treasure Vault, Reliquary Tower, and Exotic Orchard. The 5 Eldraine lands with Hall of Helios Generosity, Sarah's Sanctum, Fabled Passage, and Reflecting Pool. And then our artifact lands, I am just missing the green one, but I do have Darksteel Citadel and Spire of Industry here, Phyrexian Tower, and Haven of the Spear Dragon. 5 of the 10 Modern Horizon 2 bridges, which is kind of one of the thoughts I had for a land slot I'd like to add. And then the secret lair for these snow-covered lands, and this is what I use for the decks, where I'm using a lot of snow-covered lands for my basics. But that is the land binder. Now we're going to move into the non-land binder. So here I have cards sorted by color. And the stipulation for cards being here are any cards that are worth more than a certain amount, or any cards that I think I want to have played in multiple decks. Big examples here are things like Enlightened Tutor, Smothering Tithe, Mural. You know, these things that I think I'm going to be playing in multiple decks as far as different decks that I have. For example, a card like Inspiring Leader, not a very expensive card, but I'm playing it in 3 or 4 different token decks. And so what I wanted to do is have a copy of it that could be used. Same thing with something like Solitary Confinement or Grand Crescendo. Just cards that I want to have accessible to multiple decks. Teferi's Protection there. Getting into the blue, the staple binder has allowed me to get things like Force of Negation, a card that I wouldn't normally play, but and expropriate. Now that I have them, I can play them. Mana Drain, Nexus of Fate, Omniscience, these big blue cards that I wouldn't normally buy if it was just for one deck, but now that I have one copy in here, I can play them in multiple decks. And just recently picked up that Secret Lair Mystic Remora. Getting into black, probably the biggest reason why to have a staple binder is a lot of these black spells that just get very expensive. Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Intent, Imperial Seal, the really expensive cards that I would hate to buy more than one of. The back page here, just recently got the Professor Onyx for my Kess deck, threw in the Marionette Master there from the Brothers War Commander decks. Getting into red, Dockset Extortion, this is a great reason to have one of these. Goldspan got put in here because I have multiple decks that aren't, multiple Dragon decks that I'm testing, but also multiple decks that I care about treasures. I was able to get my Goblin Realm Master there because I use that in different decks. And that pretty sneak attack, and just recently got in the just add milk Secret Lair, so really cool to have that. Stay by. Getting into green, the color I play the most of, Concordant Crossroads, Crater Hoof. Happy to have one of that, a foil doubling season there. And as you can see, the Galta there from the Just Add Milk, as you can see, the goal here is to just have one copy of things like Survival of the Fittest, Sylvan Library, Sylvan Tutors, so that I can play them in multiple decks without needing to buy more than one of them. Finishing out the green here, Worldly Tutor. All right, getting into the multicolored Assassin's Trophy, Anguished Unmaking, D-Spark, got the cool one there from the Mystical Archive, although it's not that expensive of a card, it's still cool to have. Sterling Grove, playing a lot of Enchantress decks, so it's cool to have one of those. Temur Ascendancy, another example of a pretty cheap card, but I like having it in here because I can play it in Tyranids and Miram and a lot of these decks that I'm playing. And then here on the backside, just picked up Thousand Year Storm because I'm building up a couple multicolor spell singing decks, and then just pulled the Thopter Foundry out of a pack. I was pretty excited about that because I'm going to be using that in a couple decks. This page, probably one of my favorites in the binder, got the Signet and the Talisman Secret Lairs, Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Chrome Mox, and Mana Crypt here. Just, I think this page is what most people want as far as Mana Rocks go. Getting on the next page, just picked up Aether Flux from the Brothers War Retro Artifacts, Phyrexian Altar, Mox Amber, just the examples of things that I only want to buy one of, so I have access to them through the Herald's Horn from my 40k deck into here. And then the last page, sort of Feast and Famine and Ugin showing out here. And then I just picked up the Walking Ballista for a deck that I'm hoping to build, and then the Ulamog from Just Add Milk. And then this page right here is going to start... you guys haven't seen the video yet when this video goes live, but there will be a custom video coming from my Miram deck. Once I finish up my next changes to the list, I'm going to do a video for that. These are in here because these are cards that I own that aren't already in the staple binder, but I just took them out so that I could use the customs. I'm going to get the showcase version of Miram because that's what the deck's based around, but I didn't buy the Secret Lair, so I don't have the showcase version of Imarith, so it's sitting in here, and with Gnawbone and all those other ones, I already have copies of them, so they're in here as well. But what do you guys think of the staple binder? Is this something you guys would be interested in doing? I know the first question that most people are going to ask is, Millzy, what do you do when you go to shops? And that's a great question. So for me, the last few times I've gone to the shop that I frequent, when I sit down at the table with my opponents, I pull out my decks, I open up my book bag and show them the binders, and I just briefly explain to them what the staple binders are, why they're there, and then if they have any questions on whether or not I have certain cards, I'd be more than welcome to pull the binders out, show them that they're here, and that I have them with me. I've yet to have a shop have an issue with that, but I understand why my opponents would have an issue with that. But most of the time, the opponents have completely understood. They said, yeah, that's completely fine, and we played the game like normal. But again, let me know in the comments. What do you guys think of staple binders as a concept? Is this something you're interested in doing? Is this something that you would want your opponent to do or not? I'd love to have a conversation with you guys down in the comments about that. Again, this has allowed me to build more decks. It's allowed me to be more creative with building my decks and to be okay with running decks of different colors that I wouldn't have been beforehand. And that's the reason why I think it's the most beneficial. It allows you to build multiple decks with the same cards, enjoy cards across your decks, and just enjoy more play styles that you wouldn't have normally. And like I said, it's gotten me almost up to 10 main decks now because of this system right here. And I feel like I could comfortably build more as new sets come out, as new commanders come out. And that's what I think I love the most about this. Is it allows me to brew, it allows me to try things out and feel comfortable because I know that I may have of some percentage of those cards already. It's just buying the new ones for that deck when I build it. So Let me know what you think down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this concept. Again, I'd really like to hear your opinion down in the comments. What you think of that? Drop me a like if you like this. Subscribe if you want to see some more Commander content. We got Millzy brews coming. We are not done with First RB1. We'll be rolling on it for weeks to come, and I'm excited about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.